Super Wheels Special Edition Walgreens 100th Anniversary.
Yeah.
Because when the 100th birthday of a pharmacy rolls around, you got to celebrate it by making a commemorative die-cast car.
With some knockoff brand.
Yeah.
Super Wheels.
Super Wheels. Yeah, this is probably the first Super Wheels that you've reviewed.
Yeah, I might have had a couple, but it doesn't ring a bell.
Wonder if I should turn the flash on.
The light on?
Well, actually, crap. The light on the thing turned off. On your tripod.
Yeah, 'cause it's just sitting there for a while.
There we go. Boom. Oh, it turns off automatically.
Oh no, I haven't used it much. Is it recording already?
Yes, it is.
You want to start over?
No, we're good. Super Wheels Collector's Edition, Motor Max, number 73601. And,
I don't think I'm going to open this one.
yeah. Die-cast metal, plastic, and die-cast. Die-cast metal and plastic.
Yeah.
And it's a PT Cruiser.
Yeah, that's the best thing about this whole thing. And it's a van, too. It's like a utility van. It's not a, utility vehicle.
Yeah, this is pretty damn generic here.
Did you see how it was a panel truck? It's not a four-door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the front of the PT.
Is that called the sedan when it's too? What
do they call it?
Well, I don't know what they call it. I just wonder, like,
I would call it a panel van. That's
panel van.
van.
Yeah, because I always thought that a sedan was a two-wheeled or a two-doored vehicle.
Four doors are sedans, two doors are coupes.
Oh, coupes. Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know all this terminology that you do.
Yeah, it's because of all my interest in that.
This is gonna shock you. It's made in China.
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 So, I think Walgreens is damn near 120 years now. I don't know how old they are, but I bet you it's almost 20 more. This is probably from 20 years ago.
Oh, where did you get this?
I got it at a antique store.
Okay, so it was unopened in the antique store.
Yes.
So it's probably been open for about 20 years.
Yes.
Okay.
And honestly, I like the packaging and the car's cool. I think we both had our disdain for Walgreens.
Yeah.
I minimally used them. And
I had a traumatic experience.
well, I believe it. I'd be more surprised if someone didn't. It's just horrible, just awful.
I wanted to return something, and the guy was a dick and wouldn't let me return it. And okay, you want to hear a story?
Sure.
I bought an alarm clock, a digital alarm clock,
yeah,
from a Walgreens. This was years ago when I first kind of moved out on my own. It would have been like within the first 5 years of when I moved out on my own, and I was still kind of picking up stuff for myself. And I didn't have a good digital alarm clock at the time. So I thought I'm going to pick up a digital alarm clock. So I went to Walgreens and I picked one out. I put it up on my windowsill and I plug it in and everything. A day or two later, I take a look at it and I get this feeling like something's wrong.
Okay.
And I don't know why I got this feeling, if it was a sixth sense or what. But I pick up the alarm clock, the digital alarm clock, and the underside of the clock is swarming with little ants.
Wow.
My guess is that what happened was in the shipping of this clock, somehow an ant colony formed. There were eggs or something.
Wow.
In the battery compartment or in the circuitry, and when I took it out and put it on my windowsill, those were just the right conditions for them to grow and become ants. And so I have this digital clock / ant farm colony.
Wow.
On my windowsill. I take it back to Walgreens. I say, I had this horrifying experience. You know, there now I'm going to have to get an exterminator. It's just a nightmare. I've got all these ants in my apartment. I want to return this. And he says, I'm sorry, we can't do that without a receipt. I said, did you really think that I was expecting to wake up one morning and see a bunch of tiny ants coming out of this alarm clock, and I thought, oh, I better keep the receipt just in case that happens? No. But he still wouldn't let me because he was a dick.
That's how my experiences were with one of them.
He's lucky he didn't get sued. But anyway, go ahead.
That's kind of how I felt like with Target. I had an issue with them. I told you how I just avoid that place. And
was it as bad as ants? Like your apartment being infested with ants coming out of a digital alarm clock?
But one of them was just ridiculous. It's the return thing. It's sort of like how we'll have, let's say we're going to have Batman not returns, just to kind of give a hint at what a potential future video will be. And part of that inspiration was because of just how awful the return process is.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. It's just like they have the Futurama suicide booth. They have that right next to their fucking return line.
Yeah.
Because you know how bad trying to return something's going to be.
Well, here's the thing. With my experience, it added insult to injury. Yeah. Because not only did they sell me this alarm clock that was like an ant bomb, they refused to return it. You know, it was just, like I said, insult to injury.
Well, I think they have the highest prices in town, the least selection, and the cheapest crap. What did you say? I think Dollar Tree has better products overall than what Walgreens has.
The only places I can think of that have cheaper crap would be like Dollar General and Family Dollar when Family Dollar was around.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're pretty close to the bottom rung, in my opinion.
Well, I'd say they're worse than either of those stores. Like they are just like
Family Dollar got pretty bad. Like I remember Family Dollar before they got acquired by Dollar Tree. They had this ghetto vibe.
Yeah, I guess I stay out of Family Dollar. I've been to Dollar Tree and Dollar General, but yeah.
Going to a Family Dollar back in the day was like a spirit-crushing experience.
It's so bad.
I don't know. You go in there and everything is like, you know, you look, it's like, this is how bad things can get. You know? like I remember like the electronics there, like, you know, they had digital radios and things like that. And they were the cheapest, like the ones that were so cheap that instead of an extendable antenna, it just had this wire sticking out of it.
Wire?
Yes, like that. Back then, the really cheap radios, that's all they'd have would be this little like barely insulated wire sticking out of it, and that was the quote antenna.
Huh.
But no, Walgreens is pretty bad. Yeah, they're small. I remember before the and I'm sorry that I'm stumbling so much. I'm really tired, but I remember before Walmart started retracting, because now, I mean, Walmarts are starting to close down because there just aren't, you know, as many people wanting to shop at Walmarts anymore. But back when Walmart was still expanding, Walgreens was going to adopt that model and become Super Walgreens. They were going to form like Super Walgreens, just like Walmart's. And then Walmart was going to create smaller Walgreens-type Walmarts. But that was before online shopping became more popular and before people kind of realized how evil Walmart is, and obviously before the pandemic and everything. You know, we're talking like 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. It's a completely different world now. And now you know, you don't see Walmart expanding very much anymore. You certainly don't see, I don't know. Do you think they're building Walgreens right now?
No.
Certainly not in California. Because they're having issues with people just walking in and taking shit.
It's like the certain Pay It Forward cafe that we're familiar with.
Yes,
They just operate with the California mindset. Those guys, they're just going to pay it forward.
Yep. Pay what you can, and evidently
steal what you want.
What they can pay is nothing.
The full slogan is pay what you want and steal what you like.
Yeah. and the employees have been instructed to just let them walk out with shit because they don't want to put the employees at risk. You know, sometimes they, you know, don't even call the police because they defunded the police.
Well, and then the thing too is they just whatever, and then if they try to confront the guy, then it becomes like an assault or whatever. Then the guy would probably sue the guy stealing the stuff would sue that company and be like, that violated my safe space. This was my safe space. I have anxiety when I'm confronted when I'm stealing other people's shit, and you guys can't do this because this is California. And
Yeah.
I think California is a real beautiful place, and I think that probably post World War II.
Stealing is part of my culture.
Yeah.
And you will not devalue my culture.
Got to embrace that diversity. Grand Theft diversity. That could be. That's pretty much how they operate.
I have driven like 2 or 3 miles into California.
Yeah.
The part of California I saw was rather pretty. It was like kind of grassy hills or rocky hills. It was the fucking desert. It was actually, we were pretty damn close to Death Valley.
Yeah.
We went from being like high elevation, like I think over 3,000 feet above sea level, to being the lowest elevation in the country. Wow. In a single day, you can do that. But yeah, so that's what's going on with Walgreens over there, and then over here you have CVS too, which they're owned by the same people, and they're completely interchangeable. Like the only thing that's different about them is their names. You go in there and it's like the exact same layout, selection, everything.
I personally think Walgreens are a tad higher class. CVS bought out all kinds of stuff. They bought out Osco Drug, and then they also are pimping for Target. They're the drug dealer choice for Target.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, both these places, they're state-sanctioned drug dealers. That just,
every time you say that, it's I don't know, the whole pharmacist being state-sanctioned drug. I mean,
they have a license to deal whatever
they're not dealing. It's the doctors who are
distributing
pharmaceutical
products.
They're distributing it, but they're not dealing it. The doctors are prescribing it. They only happen to have the medications, and they're not all drugs either. They're drugs, and then there are medications. Like drugs imply that they create an altered state of mind, whereas most of what they offer doesn't. So I don't know. I mean, I know that you find that funny, that whole stage thing. I find it a little bit flippant myself, but I'm not.
But couldn't we say the same thing about how you tip? We'll say, 'cause that's the
I
same,
don't tip.
That's the same type of language. That's the same type of language. You're the only guy I know that does that. That's interesting.
I tip like I do. By the way, before you come after me, I do tip a whole 10%. Okay, a whole 10%, but it's tax free, so that it helps. It helps you. It helps me. It helps everybody. And Uncle Sam
they always report their cash tips.
And Uncle Sam don't get nothing. The only person who don't win is Uncle Sam.
Yeah, and there you go. And so then when I use my verbiage, all of a sudden I'm a bad guy for talking about pharmacists that way. But when you leave little paper trails of tax-free gifts, you're on like the high.
I'm not the one calling people just doing their jobs drug dealers.
Well, some doctors are pill pushers.
Yes, and God bless them, because they're helping people to deal with their pain. You have a hard time these days finding doctors who have the balls to prescribe opioids to people who need them.
Yeah.
And there are people who need them. I mean, there are people that doctor, I got fucking chronic pain because of a skiing injury that didn't quite heal right, and I'm going to be in pain for the rest of my life. And the doctor's like, well, I'd like to help you, but with this crisis and everything, I don't want to lose my practice, so here's some fucking Tylenol. Here's some Tylenol 3s. It's like, barely more than what you can get over the counter, Oh, and some meditation. I prescribe meditation. Just take some deep breaths. That'll help your pain. I mean, I'm not joking. That's what they do. That's what they're being told to do, is to tell their patients to just take deep breaths and meditate.
Well,
when they have fucking spinal injuries.
Nobody will prescribe medical marijuana in Iowa either. You know, like you go over to Illinois, they'll just give you a card.
Yeah, that's what Illinois is for.
But
that's what Illinois is for.
In Iowa, they won't prescribe any medical stuff. They make it really hard.
I'm okay with Illinois being the state, being kind of the grungy state, because the cost of living is a lot higher over there, and the crime rate is higher and everything. You know, let all that happen across the river. You know, you can drive across the river and get that shit if you really feel like you need it. But here in Iowa, we're like fine, upright citizens. And like.
So, do we want a big casino in our town?
No. Short answer, no.
Yeah.
Long answer, maybe on the outskirts.
Oh,
not downtown.
Oh, the core would be so great. We have degenerate gambling pushers and all kinds of stuff.
I think the Amanas would be a perfect place for a casino.
I'm sure those German guys would just love that. The historic and cultural significance of a religious communal society that now promotes gambling.
That'd be perfect. That'd be just far enough in the outskirts outside of town that'd be the perfect place for it.
And they could turn that woke theater into the casino. They got enough land with the RV park and the old theater out there to have a nice casino.
Well, it works for the Native Americans. It should work for the Germans. You know, help these underprivileged ethnic communities, give them a casino, and boom.
Yeah, who've been
prosperity.
Yeah, justice for the community of true inspiration.
Yeah.
So,
but the only problem with that is they'll have trouble finding hot cocktail waitresses, because in my experience, women of German descent are not necessarily the most attractive. And I say that as someone who's part German myself.
Yeah. But you're saying it from the perspective of self-hating Scandinavian.
Yes. Well, no, but Scandinavian women are hot.
Yeah.
But some of them.
I am Helga.
Helga.
Yeah.
But no, so.
Wow, and you're like, hey, you should make more videos, because I've been preoccupied with various other obligations that have kind of come up in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And so I've scaled back on my video production. But I knew this was...
There's nothing wrong with insulting white people, and it doesn't get much whiter than Germans.
Yeah.
Both racially and culturally.
Yeah. Yeah, Walgreens and CVS have really dominated the market. I mean, but you went to an independent pharmacy.
Oh, and I had a bad experience at a CVS. Okay, I had my wisdom teeth yanked out. Okay, and I was on a bunch of painkillers, but they were about to wear off. And my dentist told me, you're going to want to go to CVS right away and get this prescription filled and get your Vicodin, because in about an hour or two, you're going to be hurting a lot. And so I went over there. I picked up my medications. I go back to McDonald's where I was going to get something to eat. I look in the bag, and they forgot it. They forgot the most important medication, which was the painkiller. So I drive back over there, and the woman, she was an older woman, the woman who helped me before, quote, helped me before,
yeah.
She denied it. She accused me of trying to get more pills out of her. Yeah. And I threw a big scene right there in front of Walgreens, in front of everybody. I screamed, you screamed about the surcharge fee. Yeah. It was that order of, except actually multiplied by like 2 or 3, because I told this woman, I'm going to be in nightmarish pain sometime in the next hour, and you're telling me that I can't have my pain medication. You made a mistake. You made a mistake. And she, of course, didn't want to admit it, because it might be the end of her career, because when you're a pharmacist, you can't make too many
Was
mistakes.
she a technician or a real deal pharmacist?
She was the one handling the meds, like putting them in the bottle. So she didn't want to admit it. But I raised enough of a fuss that she finally did admit to making the mistake. She was just about in tears. I mean, she was like close to having tears streaming down her face, and her voice was shaking because she was so upset.
Yeah.
But I finally got her to admit that she made the mistake.
Do you verify all your medicines now before you leave the premise?
I think I do.
Cool.
After something like that, yeah.
Unless
Here's the thing. It was 2 different ones. It was 2 or 3 different medications. So, if it's just one, I probably don't.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if they screwed up, then they, it's unlikely that they would screw up on just one. But that's like the one time in my life where I've come into a pharmacy with more than one medication to get. So, I just assumed that, pharmacists are doing their fucking job and they don't make those kind of mistakes. But yeah, after that, I don't have the same confidence in them that I did before.
Yeah.
I don't call them state-sanctioned drug dealers, but I don't think that they're like infallible gods either. I'm somewhere in the middle.
Oh, okay. Well, just because they're state-sanctioned doesn't mean I don't think highly of them.
Yeah, I think it's degrading language. Because pharmacists, I mean, that's a high-paying, high-performing.
You're also saying that because you love chemistry, too, and there's a lot of chemistry that goes into it. So you're coming in with your own biases towards that particular.
It's not so much a bias; it's an ability to appreciate and recognize their abilities and talent.
Oh. Okay.
So anyway, CVS and Walgreens, fuck them both. I've had bad experiences with both. But not really. They're not so bad.
But I mean, you had a good experience getting your whatever at an independent pharmacy. Remember?
Oh yeah, the jab, the Fauci
ouchie.
Yep, at an independent pharmacy. That was a magical experience.
That's cool. I actually want to go back there again.
It's like 75% gift shop, 25% pharmacy, and it's where my childhood doctor used to be.
Well, isn't it like he doesn't print a receipt that's like, a tree worth of paper? That's the other thing with these guys. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, they're notorious for long receipts that are unnecessarily long. Now,
you can hang yourself with this receipt. Oh wow, thanks for my impression.
I do have their rewards program at Walgreens, and so whenever I go in, I type in my number, and supposedly I get some kind of a deal.
You never get shit. It's just tracking.
Yeah, it's just tracking. That's pretty much all it is.
But it's interesting if you sign up for the CVS Delta Plus. What was it?
Delta
COVID,
Plus Omicron
COVID rewards program. Oh no! We came up with this really good one. There's the CVS, Walgreens, Delta Plus, Omicron, Persei 8. What's the one transformer called? It's the cool
Optimus
guy.
Prime.
Optimus Prime.
Rigel 7.
Rigel 7 rewards program. Like the most longest freaking thing. Like this is the Omicron Persei 8.
Triple dog dare.
Like what do you even call that?
Yeah.
You just call it Delta Plus rewards.
The packaging does look kind of old on this.
Oh yeah. It looks cheap and it looks old.
It looks like cheap old design, and you can roll the PT Cruiser a little bit in there so it can back up and go forward. And it does look super generic.
Yep. Yeah. I just thought the 100th anniversary thing was kind of cool. I'm pretty sure they started in like 1903. It was definitely before 2010.
Yeah.
I know that for sure.
I would like them better if they were more like an old kind of general store.
Yeah.
Like a Cracker Barrel or something.
Or even like a Hy-Vee drugstore. If they were half as good as a Hy-Vee drugstore, we probably wouldn't be just shitting on them as much. But because they're just so...
They're like these cheap little mini Walmarts that just litter the countryside. One of my favorite Hardee's got replaced by a CVS. It's just urban sprawl. This really cool coin shop. There was a whole strip mall in the town that I live in now, that where the Walgreens is now. It was this cool little strip mall that had like a coin shop in there. It was totally different.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. They just kill communities. They're just awful. And then they don't have any good food selection. And I think calling them crappy Walmarts is actually giving them too much credit. I would say they're overpriced family dollars.
And they were never open 24 hours.
No, their hours are really limited.
Yeah, which now Walmart and Hy-Vee are not either, but at least back in the day they were open 24 hours, which was really helpful to us night owls who never sleep and do most of our shopping in the middle of the night like vampires.
Well, now you can just go to gas stations. That's pretty much your choice for.
Yeah, Quickstar has kind of picked up the slack of those stores that aren't open 24 hours anymore.
Is Come and Go open 24?
Yeah.
Okay, so those two.
Yeah, except Quickstar is the one that has a lot of the cooked stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of the milks and the good food.
Yeah, it has
the prices aren't bad. I have a Quickstar diecast vehicle, so if you listen until this far, I will have to do a video about that. I picked it up at Quickstar within the last 6 months, and it's laying around somewhere.
We'll have to do that next time.
Yeah, we can do that. I have several other ideas for stuff we can do, but yeah, we'll definitely. When I find it, it will be on the radar again.
Yeah. Because I have grievances for Quickstar too about their rewards program, which was crap.
Almost all rewards programs are total schemes. Like I get some food at Quickstar, and I'm not even going to go there for what my payout was. It was not worth it.
The one that's really been good to me, Come and Go.
Yeah.
Because between the offering the flex fuel and then the rewards debit card, I filled up last night. Everybody right now is paying like what, $3.50 something for gas.
Probably $3, almost $4.
Yeah, I'm still paying $2.49, and then 5 cents off every time with the card. And then I had the option this time of getting another 10 cents off. So that's that could have been $3.35 or $2.35. $2.35 for me. Okay. I turned it down. I saved it because you can save it for next time. You can save those points for 30 days. Wow. So I at some point I have 10 cents off per gallon coming to me. Wow. But this time it was $2.45. Probably like almost $1.50 less than most people.
How did you get it for $2.45?
Well, because it was $2.49, and then when I pay with that debit card, it's an automatic 5 cents off per gallon.
Wow.
And then I could have done another 10 cents off, but I'm saving it for another time.
Wow, that's pretty sweet. Oh, and it's E85.
And it's E85.
So I was trying to just figure out all of that.
And they always have a good deal. They always have a good price on E85, which Quickstar doesn't always.
I know what you should do for your next quick video, man. Do something about your gas savings. High gas prices, save money with these quick tips.
I probably will. Yeah. I did for the Hy-Vee one.
Yeah, but that was a long, drawn-ass out video. I'm saying for like a short. That's what people want to hear. Just gas and
I'll talk like the guy in the Micro Machines video. It's like, hey everybody, you want to save money? Here, get this rewards card. Blah, 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 blah. Remember that guy?
Yeah, just show your card and then just.
You know what they told me at Come and Go one time?
What?
The woman said, I always like to see you come in here because you have that gray rewards card, the debit rewards card, and almost nobody has that. She told me it's pretty rare to see somebody who actually has the debit card.
What do they have? They just max out the credit card, or they just use their own cards?
They either use just the regular red one, which is not a debit card, or they just use a credit card. It's rare to see someone come in to Come and Go and have the silver rewards debit card.
Well, do you pay at the pump or do you pay there?
I pay in-house.
That's smart.
Because you never want to pay at the pump because they have the skimmers. Yeah. But yeah, they said to me, not very many people have these. You're one of the few people who takes advantage of this program.
Well, do they get the 5 cents if you have a credit card or no?
Well, not if you have the credit card. If you have the standard card, then you do. I forget how it works. You get cents off, but not as many as I do.
Okay, because basically they're earning interest off the money deposited in the debit card.
Right.
So that's why they can kick it back, and then they're paying less in processing fees.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
So that's been a good program. I'll want to make sure to get a new card if mine ever wears out. But I've had it for years and it's been okay. You just swipe it and it's fine.
Oh man, we were a pinball machine today.
Yeah, we covered every aspect of life on Earth.
Yeah. How long?
Why a PT Cruiser? Like, of all things. I mean, I guess this is about 20 years ago, and that was the hot new car back then. I mean, that was like PT Cruisers were new at this time.
I would have gone with a windowless Chevy van, utility van, like an E-Series, or a Ford Econoline van.
I would have gone with a Saturn.
Wow.
A different kind of company, a different kind of car, a different kind of company.
Yeah, I think they really, if Saturn was really allowed to excel, I think they would have made it and they would have been really good. But instead, GM created this, put all this money into it, and then was like, how can we ruin this thing?
Yeah.
You know, and the taxpayers and the
kind of like a Super Bowl commercial.
Wow.
Throw a bunch of money into it and how can we ruin it?
Yep.
Put Snoop Dogg in it. Ugly piece of shit. Really, I hate that guy. I hate what he represents. I hate him. He's he's appalling to me.
Because he's all doped up all the time and he's lazy and what?
He thinks he's all cool. He doesn't even look good. He's not even cool. And he's a criminal. Anyway, I have this dislike for Snoop Dogg. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get all personal.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure, we should do a video of your favorite black rappers next.
Well, he likes to play off oh, I'm tough, I'm a thug. But then he's hanging out with Martha Stewart and being all mainstream and shit.
Well, she's gangster. He hung out with her when she was in the crib. She's in the lockup, man. She in rich white lady lockup.
He looks like I could get herpes by just touching him.
Oh wow. What about Flavor Flav?
Flavor Flav, he opened chicken places. I know someone who went to the grand opening of one and actually got to meet Flavor Flav and got a hug from him.
Wow.
I'll tell you who that is off camera.
Yeah, well, I have an idea of who it is. There's only a certain person or two that I could think would ever really subject themselves to that. And on that, Walgreens, CVS, and congratulations on 100 years. Here's to hopefully not having another 20. Or something better going in your place.
Yep, you've run your course. You've had a good run.
Don't beat a dead horse in the ground. Get food, lower your prices, and have stuff that people would actually want to buy.
Yeah.
$20 Hallmark cards.
And go back to being like a nice old-fashioned general store with soda pop and candy and dry goods. And not the kind of dry goods that you get from.
You want to end it here, or do you want to elaborate on what you were saying?
Not the kind of dry goods that you get from I don't know. I don't quite know how I was going to finish that. It had to do with private parts. Not having the right moisturizer or something like that.
Let's end it here. Let's get your glass and your ointments from
Yeah.
Is this still running? Because my phone is pretty full.
Yeah, we're at almost 35 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I might back this up. I don't know if we're going to upload it right away.
Okay.
It's this long, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
I think it's going for a record for time.
Yeah. The coloring on the packaging is pretty limited. Too. That's another thing I noticed. It's mostly just yellow and blue and white.
Yeah, and it's midnight, so I think that's a good sign to play the Askew music and wrap it up.
Okay. What's that music?
Oscar music. It's like an orchestra or something. I don't know. I keep thinking of that song that I think was the Avatar, where it's like, or I don't know what it was, where it's like da 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 da, or Jurassic Park.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Da 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 da.
Yeah, it's like dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yes. Okay, so I think, suppose that's it.
Yes.
For the love of God, push the stop button.
End it now.